You're watching
TV Show Review
with me, Squeak.
So, it's 2021 and I'm pretty sure superheroes are still as popular as ever. Just a guess on my part, an assumption if you will, and I get it. I love heroes and villains and all that kind of shenanigans, even though it's beyond done to death at this point. I think Into the Spider-Verse is one of the best films of all time at this point. And I cared about the Suicide Squad movie enough to be really hurt when it came out. The original, not the second, which just came out a little bit ago and was directed by James Gunn, who's also notable for bringing us some also amazing superhero films like Guardians of the Galaxy.
His people are completely literal. Metaphors are gonna go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
I'm gonna die surrounded by the biggest idiots in the galaxy.
This all brings me to today's show of choice. Do you remember BT/Marvel Knights Black Panther series? Back in 2010, BT brought us a short 6-episode miniseries telling a standalone story of the titular Black Panther. Without spoiling too much, the overall gist of the show is T'Challa is the new Black Panther after an assassin, Claw, kills his father when he was a kid. T'Challa's uncle then takes on the mantle of Black Panther until T'Challa is old enough to claim it for himself. Claw assembles his own team of villains, not to be confused with a league of villains, and intends on invading Wakanda and finishing what he started all those years ago. The American government is also there feeding on the crumbs of the whole situation, of course. This kind of leaves T'Challa like, the nerve! Also, Storm is there, just kind of doing her own thing. You know, Storm from the X-Men. She's just vibing. Captain America also shows up near the beginning, but it's a recap of events from the past. I have no reason to be mentioning this except 1, there's a dope fight scene, and 2, because this is old Captain America. He's wearing an old Captain America costume, and the little wings on the side of his giant meaty melon are sending me. Look at that. Just look at those tiny wings. What do? Who did that to you, Captain America? Who hurt you like that? Those wings are giving me, according to all known laws of aviation, there is no way that a bee should be able to fly. I can't. I have to stop. We have to move on. Now that we have rung it back in, I just want to say, if you like the content, don't forget to give a like, maybe subscribe if you want to. But for real, y'all should leave comments of your favorite superhero series so I can check them out. Okay, now really back on topic. Let me tell you, they kind of popped off with this one, just a little bit. From the get-go, they catch your attention with that art style. They opted for making the show look straight out of a comic book. It works really freaking well. It makes me feel really nostalgic. I think the style especially makes it stand up to the test of time because 2010 was a whole ass 11 years ago, and I'm actually gonna stop talking about that because the passage of time makes me very uncomfy. But the way that they animate everything looks like they just took these comic panels and they're just moving the paper, and it's really cool. It can sometimes look a little bit janky, I cannot tell a lie. Sometimes you're looking and you're just like, ugh, what's happening there? And you just have to accept it, but that's not how it usually is, just sometimes. I think the story is also really good. It is a short standalone series, so they do have to do quite a bit of exposition dumping because they literally do not have the time for that information to gradually unravel for the viewer naturally. But I never listened to any of the info dumps and found them boring or tiresome. They were usually supplemented with humor and action that did a really good job of keeping my interest, and it also helped that the voice acting was really good, so nothing felt forced. But speaking of voice actors, you've activated my trap card, and now you have to listen to me talk about some of the insane vocal talents on this show, you silly little bitch, you. First, you've got T'Challa voiced by Jim Hansu, who you may recognize as Korath the Pursuer from Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel, the Fisherman King in Aquaman, and the Wizard Guy from Shazam. Those aren't voice acting, just regular acting, but I wanted to include those roles because superhero movies. He has significantly less voice acting roles, but he was Drago in How to Train Your Dragon 2, and both the Flaxen Emperor Slash and the Martian Emperor in Amazon's Prime's. You also have Princess Suri, voiced by Kerry Washington. She's well known for being Broomhilda in Django Unchained, Alicia Masters in Fantastic Four, and Olivia Pope in Scandal. Then we also have Alfre Woodard, who has been Mrs. Whatsit in the 2003 A Wrinkle in Time, Betty Applewhite in Desperate Housewives, and Miriam Sharp in Captain America Civil War. Stan Lee also makes an appearance in this show as General Wallace, R.I.P. These beautiful voices are only accentuated by the stellar soundtrack. I mean, let's just go ahead and insert a little snippet from the opening music. Is Isn't that just a banger? They put a whole foot in that intro. This show is by no means perfect, but it's still so damn good. Each of the aspects of the show come together to make something that I feel is special and not nearly appreciated as it should be. There was never any time I was watching this and just wanted it to be over. I thoroughly enjoyed every moment.
Sometimes you gotta kick a little butt. In the name of Jesus.
Back off, fat boy. You'll climb fast like a monkey.
So, moral of the story, I recommend this show if you need a nice little superhero fix. This show is more on the adult side. There is gore. The show literally starts with violence happening. A lot of violence. People die and are dead because they are killed violently. Also, if you want the deepest of stories and narratives, this isn't it. They have 6 episodes to get you in, get you interested, and get you out. Don't go in this expecting a narrative masterpiece. The plot is by no means bad.
I can't believe I did that.
But it's not fucking Shakespeare. So, if you have a couple hours to spare and any of this sounded interesting to you, I highly recommend giving it a watch. I'll give this Black Panther series a 7.9. I'm definitely going to make a few of my friends watch it after this. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Why can't I speak today?